just a day away from sim racing's and certainly iRacing's biggest event of the year, the Daytona 24 Hours. We are going to be previewing the events when it comes to Apex Racing Team and the event on the whole in this week's The Late Apex. Also covering new sims potentially coming out, including Le Mans Ultimate, what's going on with The Last Garage, and also unusual direct drive wheels being produced by some companies who you would never imagine would enter the market. Welcome to the show. I am Sam Fitzpatrick once again, and alongside me is David Sampson. David, it's a busy weekend. This I was thinking before, like, is this the biggest event in sim racing at the moment? No virtual Le Mans going on for now. So it's a big one, particularly when it comes to participation. This event is insane.
Yeah, I was just seeing in my Discord people posting what the official registrations are right now in IMSA and everything. It's getting really busy. But yes, Daytona, I think Daytona 24 is definitely iRacing's biggest event. It's always exciting. Triple multi-class. We're back to, because obviously was it 2 years ago we were back to dual class?
Was it just LMP2 and GTD, I think?
Correct,
one,
yeah, because LMP1 had been retired and we didn't yet have the LMD8. So yes, we're back to triple multi-class, which is exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Kicks off, well, there's a few splits, right? But the main one most people care about is 12 GMT tomorrow. That's the...
Yes, yeah.
I don't know, iRacing have never... It's the broadcast. Do iRacing never come out in front of it and say it's... does it ever get a special mention? I'm trying to think.
I don't think it's seen as... It's a good question. Who gets trophies? If you win the other splits, you don't get trophies,
I think the VCO trophy is the 12
the VCO,
o'clock. Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. And they have, like, the... quadruple crown, I think they have
the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam, that's what it's called. So yes, that could be maybe the start of a journey for someone to maybe get all 4 events this year. That would be quite a big thing. In terms of Daytona 24, lots of late changes from iRacing. It's been testing some people's patience. We have a lot of Apex Racing Team and Apex Racing Academy drivers from all across Europe taking part in the event. They arrive tomorrow. Some of them jet lagged and stressed about traveling for half a day. They come to the sim center and they wait around for 6 hours waiting for iRacing to come back up. It was quite annoying on Thursday. It seemed like they moved a few cones on the pit exit, was it?
Yeah, it was a pit exit change and a Ferrari damage update and some other nonsense, but it was hugely delayed. I mean, this was patch notes was 3 lines of text, and I think it was down, don't quote me, but somewhere in the region of 5 to 6 hours, which is, pretty ridiculous for a small change. But I assume there was some late testing or late problems found with either the pit exit or... I mean, it is ridiculous. They go from one extreme to the other. It was a slowdown that you could exploit and basically cut, and it would be served before you even exit the pit, to now a drive-through slash slowdown, a drive-through slash stop and go for hitting a cone. Cones have families too. Yes. Chat's in loving the cones.
People generally saying on chat, Nick Horn and Aaron Smith in chats, basically saying how I hate Daytona.
It's true.
It's become my most famous thing. I'm not...
I'm surprised you don't have a Netflix show, to be honest, about it.
No.
It'll come.
I mean, who would rather watch NASCAR documentary by Netflix, just coming out soon, or me just
moan about Daytona?
Oh, well, I mean, me chatting rubbish is this podcast, isn't it? Pretty much. So yes, people tune in. So clearly, it's all right to watch. Welcome Zach, and welcome to Nick and Aaron as well, who are watching along live, and of course, welcome to everyone who is watching back as well on podcasts. In terms of participants, it's very high quality. Lots of drivers who, because you got to remember, at the sports is like a little bit, up in the air, and they're not sure what's going on. So some of the guys even from F1 esports are taking part in
everything's up in the ESL's up in the air. Well, not up in the air, but what's happening? Like It's coming around,
you know,
and
when even when the season does start, like it's a couple of months away anyway. So
yeah,
drivers like Kev, for example, who'll be racing in ESL1, you know, he's got a bit of downtime right now and can take part. So yeah, and no virtual Le Mans around this time of year, which we've got accustomed to for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So you know, like just a great time for everyone to take part.
Yep.
Also, this man. He hasn't got much to do at the moment. Max Verstappen, he will be taking part in an insane squad. I was talking about ESL R1 drivers and F1 esports drivers. Seb Job does everything. He's also doing, I think, Porsche Cup GB as well. He will be racing with Max along with the former PESC champion, whose name escapes me at this present. Pinto, isn't it?
Diego Pinto.
Yeah, Diego Pinto, which is an insane squad. Obviously, it's a 24-hour race. Things can go wrong. Max had really bad luck, actually, in the 24-hour races recently. Sebring was the worst one. I think that was last year, where he got netcoded to oblivion, and one of the worst netcodes I've ever seen on the sim. So whilst you may not like the guy, I think it's good for iRacing. It's good for sim racing for him to be near the front, and he will be near the front of this event, and expect to see the streaming numbers increase by about tenfold. Especially if Redline are doing a Twitch stream, they're going to have about 5 times as many views as the official broadcast.
Correct, yeah, because it's Max. Right? Obviously he's big in racing. Compared to sim racing, it doesn't matter if you add every content creator and every driver together. You know, I don't know if you remember the VCO track votes when he was competing in the pro sim thing. I was actually competing in that as well,
Sure, yeah.
against Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
When Apex wanted a track, we would all go to Twitter
Sure.
and vote, and every team was voting the track they wanted. But then Max could just say
Put out a tweet.
a word,
Yeah.
and now it's done. Doesn't matter. All that hard work doesn't matter. It's 1,000 here, 2,000 here, 1,800 here, 26 million on the one Max wants. 26 million against 3,000 is difficult. But yeah, it's great to see him participating.
Aaron Smith saying that you don't see Logan Sargent doing these races. Some shade towards Logan Sargent, who I sort of agree. I don't think Sargent's very good, but if we could go, I honestly I could go on so far about Daytona, but I think I could also go on about dumb opinions of people online about Formula One. Formula One fans are the dumbest people, I think, in the world.
Good luck with your safe travels and everything.
Well, yeah, the honest because I don't go on Reddit anymore because it's an awful place, or just dreadful takes. And the F1 subreddit, I think, is the worst subreddit on Reddit, because it's just people having no idea what they're talking about, making really big judgments on drivers and teams and stuff, which is well above their head, and it does drive you mad. So
yeah, I mean, F1's so big and so famous. It has this air of celebrity, and people follow it for a driver or for a team, and they don't necessarily understand racing.
Yeah.
I think that's my hot take. There's a majority of them that just don't know racing. They know F1 and the glam and if their driver gets taken out, it's a bad move. If their driver gets a penalty, it's a bad penalty. It's a bad decision. And I think that's the overall feel.
Yes. In terms of lineups for Apex Racing Team, I know we're sort of jumping ahead a bit because we usually talk about Apex Racing Team later on, but we may as well cover it. We have got an insane number of drivers. We have got.
I could bring up some photos if you want.
Oh, yeah, that's a good. Well, we'll show you the drivers first here. I'm trying to show it, but hopefully you can see this on the stream of lots and lots of drivers. An insane GTP squad: Kevin Ellis Jr., Peter Bayman, Johan Harth, the 3 of the 4 drivers that we had in ESL R1 last season, at least in season 1. Jamie was the other one. He's not racing. He's doing WRC streaming still, because he is a professional streamer now. Michele Constantini, who is at the Sim Center, is racing with Maxime Briant and Stan Delon and Gordy Much. They are Stan and Gordy are also at the Sim Center. Marcus is at the Sim Center. Martial unfortunately isn't. Alex isn't. Daniel Sivisabo is. And we've got academy teams. We've got a good LMP2 squad as well. Hopefully they might get into the top split, but maybe second split. I'm not quite sure. And we've got some GTD teams as well. 32 drivers we have got.
That's insane,
It's
isn't it?
the highest Apex participation in an event ever, I think. 9 teams, and hopefully a few of them do well in top split. I think maybe four or five of them will be top split. So you expect to see them on the stream.
Now, I've got some photos to share. Now, I literally went on a bathroom break between the broadcast and this, grabbed myself a BAM, and I spotted all the guys. So I ran back up, grabbed my phone, and took these. So this is the
Reception,
custom
custom area, yeah.
custom area. We can see Stanley, Gordy, Michele, is that Danny Zabo, Marcus Soham,
Maybe zoom in a bit.
Patrick Thomas.
Oh yeah, there's Luke. Who's that? No, that's not.
No,
Luke,
Luke's in the
Luke's
other
in the
room.
main
Yeah, I've got some other pictures. There you go, more close up of Stanley, Gordy, Michele, and Danny, and then we see the. Is this Luke? And that's Luca. That's Kev. That's Peter Berryman. No, Luke's there. Sorry, this is Luke. So this is Yanni, Michael Yanni.
Yeah.
And this is a good picture. This is my favourite picture because I didn't realise till I got back I'd been spotted. Look at that face. What are you doing? This isn't a holiday resort. Love that picture. Love that picture.
Yes.
So that's going on right now. They're down there right now.
We shouldn't have glass, actually, that section. They like to be contained and
Correct.
not put off. We should put up opaque walls around that
Yeah,
area.
I didn't see Kev had spotted me. It was only when I got back up and I was looking through the photos and I was like, oh, good. And I looked at it and I was like, whoa, he's staring me through my
I don't
soul.
think Kev was actually annoyed, just to clarify. I don't think
No.
But yeah, he was probably a little bit confused. Yeah. And watch the stream tomorrow. Apex Racing team on Twitch. We're going to be covering the first 4 hours of the race. We're going to be covering the last 4 hours of the race. We're not going to be here. It's going to be Jamie Fluke is going to be sat here, and he's going to be chatting with the drivers. But that's going to be on like a small box. And then we're going to have some webcams. We're going to have some behind-the-scenes footage. We're going to have onboards as well of the drivers actually in the race. It should be a really good. So, go over to Twitch for tomorrow and interact on the chat. And yeah, it will be a very fun event. I think the only other thing about Daytona is that the curbs are now out of date.
Yeah, so we need a new scan tonight before the race.
Yes, please.
Although once you see them, you might... that's my screen.
Oh, so. There you go. Look at these bad boys. Absolutely humongous. And also a swamp as well, just behind the curbs.
That is something else.
That's a classic thing where something goes wrong at the 24, and then someone goes, maybe we shouldn't have put them there.
See, this time last year, iRacing added a last-minute curb change. Yeah, at least we don't need to worry about slowdowns and off-tracks. You'll know if you've... that looks messy. Especially that, look, on the... Can I control your mouse? That bit there that
They can't see that, but...
Oh, where it crosses over.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, because we want to go straight as possible. Yeah, it looks insane. Yeah, if a prototype hits that wrong, you're going in the catch fence.
For sure.
Actually, one more thing I wanted to show. On the subject of all the boys being down there and the photos I just took, this might have something to do with it. Now, don't quote me. I'm not saying this is a record, because I know we had a 9.1K in week 13, but official-wise, this is up there. It could be a record. I'm not sure. 8.8K soft in IMSA. We got Max Verstappen out there. We got Gustavo, Alexei Nozov, Sven Haas, and Cody. 8.8K. 8.8K average.
On Max's Smurf.
Yeah, on Max. And Sven Surf.
Yeah.
Sven Surf is 10K, by the way.
What's his main?
10.4 or something.
Yeah. Very, very good drivers. Pretty mega, that one. Obviously, you always feel bad for drivers who are not running
Ogden
with
says GT3s will be over 9K. Think about it. They're split into teams. So there's 20, say it's 20 teams. I don't think it could be 9K. 20 teams of 4 drivers is
Sure,
it's
yeah.
too many for it to be 9K.
And like a lot of drivers, so a lot of our drivers. So Kev is only like 8.9K
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't need any more than that. He's always going to be in the top car, so he's always going to be around with guys who are 9K plus. So he doesn't need to add to his iRacing. So a lot of these guys who could be 10K plus. I mean, Sanchez isn't 10K, I think, either. And so Jamie's only like 9.4. So
Yeah,
once you get to 9, you don't need to gain any more than that.
Correct.
Basically. So yeah, but so if they were pushing it absolutely Bogdan, it would be 9K. But yes.
Yeah, it's lovely and heated, right? We've got the heater on.
Mm.
Usually it's, I mean, downstairs it's freezing because it's a full air conditioning.
We've turned on the heat. Well, I've turned on the heating because I was cold
Yeah.
after our thing earlier on. Aaron saying in chat, the sim center is so cold. Aaron, you're mainly here during the summer, man. It wasn't that cold, I think. But you're right in terms of the aircon downstairs. Yeah, the drivers turn it down absolutely massively. So yeah, evening to Mark Custers as well in chats.
I'm doing 24 of him tomorrow.
Oh, yep.
He's qualifying. I just read in the chat.
Oh, really?
He's
Well,
qualifying.
he's claimed it.
He's claimed it.
Wow.
I didn't put my name into the
Sure.
claim hat.
Yeah.
Skill issues.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you? Yeah.
well,
What?
well, if it,
What the hell?
I mean,
Yeah, I can see that.
but like, no. What I'm saying is that, like, obviously, if you're going to go based off skill, then
Yeah.
Zach should be doing it, but he'll be asleep, I guess.
Oh. No, Zach. Mark won the hat out of Mark and Zach were the 2 drivers I picked for Q, and I just said pick between yourselves.
Okay. I mean, I think you could have done qualifying, but
Yes, thank
didn't
you.
want the
I could
pressure.
have. I did well in my last race. Yes, I did well. I finished 10th in the tippity top split, 5.9 case off.
Yeah.
I was happy, sir.
Shall we move on from Daytona?
Hello, Alan. Yes. Can we just show the curves one more time? Just one more time, guys. This is next year's 24 curbs.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing that.
This, just so we know, this is.
No, they're going to be taken out after the 24. They're going to red flag the race 12 hours in and realise, oh, this was a bad idea.
I just cannot believe that's what we're going to get. The fact they don't even smoothly transition between the two, like we have that one poking out. That's the line we want, to hit in between them. It's insanity. Ay. Right, there you go. Last time we showed the curbs.
Other news in sim racing. Le Mans Ultimate has got a new trailer.
Giga trailer
It's a nice trailer.
is a giga trailer.
It is titled Le Mans.
All hail the king.
All hail the king. Portimao is there. We're still missing many tracks. I still don't think Imola's going to be in the release, but Portimao is, at least.
Looks like they're committing to the Imola tracks. Well, we'll get to part 2 of the news first, but... Ready to see what car, chat? This is a car we all want to drive, for sure. There ain't no fan of multi-class racing who doesn't want to drive this car. It is the king, right?
Yeah. And it should be the full roster. We are still, again, lacking a few images of some of the cars. But, yeah, with the Toyota added, should be pretty nice. And Portimao will be lovely as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is loved by almost all fans.
No, they've got the Ferrari. The Ferrari trailer's been out a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Ferrari and Toyota, are they the only LMDHs which have been
No,
trailers?
but I've seen it confirmed that it's definitely the Ferrari, the Porsche, the Peugeot, the lot of them.
Sure, yeah.
I haven't seen the pictures of the Lambo or, but I remember seeing a lineup, and I do remember seeing the Peugeot and stuff. Vanwell
Vanwell is definitely one of the ones which
Yes.
hasn't had a trailer, but again, it should be in there.
It's
Also,
in there, yeah.
Vanwell was one of the early ones I think to be added to R Factor 2. Got added to R Factor 2 like a year and a half ago, and obviously it is just the same cars being transferred over into a new game. So That should be there, but obviously they're not going to sell that much stuff by showing the Clicking House.
The Ferrari trailers did look good, actually. The Ferrari trailers looked really good. Sounded awesome.
Nice rain effects as well.
So, can we go to part 2 of the Le Mans Ultimate News?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Motorsport games, which, I mean, we've only talked about them once every episode on the podcast.
Yeah, only once on average per episode, yeah.
Yeah, so not a lot. So Mike Straw is reporting from Insider Gaming that motorsport games are exploring bankruptcy options. This was the initial tweet, that he's been in contact with someone that they are exploring how to not pay their debts, which is usually a bad sign. Part 2 of this story, which we were lucky enough to read just before we hit the air, is that this may not result in a shutdown, but rather elimination of certain assets and debts that have been, segmented into a different part of your company. Like motorsport games own it. Business doesn't work. Although one company can own shares and portions of other companies, and you can legally move around debt quite easily, and so they may be looking to close several of their studios or assets they own, or release IPs on things, or who knows what. But obviously he was quick enough to mention that when you have these bankruptcy meetings, it's all offers are on the table. There will be an offer to, for a certain amount to shut the whole damn thing and remove all debt. So let's see. But this is bad news. It comes on the heels of all these announcements and us hoping that they were releasing all the assets to make this one game shine. But again, who was I talking to today? George, that where is the virtual launch happened this time last year?
Yeah.
It's already happened. And right now, Max Verstappen's driving in iRacing. Right now, he's competing in IMSA right now as we're speaking. And so I don't know why I keep giving them hope. I don't know why I keep thinking they can do this, because Max is driving in a different sim right now. This time last year, he was representing the R Factor thing, the Virtual Le Mans thing, the biggest event ever to date in sim racing. Where are they now? Nowhere. So, yeah.
I think, though, there's not much rush, though, with hosting another one of them. They probably want to get away from R Factor and say, well, this is a brand new game, so it's going to go well this time, even though it might not go well. But I think, maybe at the end of the year or something, it'd be cool if they had like a road to 24 hours event, which would be cool. Obviously, they already had the WEC season in R Factor 2, which was quite nicely done. They had a really good broadcast, and they did like race highlights and stuff and took it quite seriously. Had really good commentators as well from the real world. So hopefully they do something like that, but it'd be cool if it was like something that you actually qualified for the 24 hours.
Because that's what
that any amateur team could have a dream of getting into it.
That's what upset Max the most, right? People think it was all just Virtual Le Mans. No, he had
whole
worked really hard. Apparently 4 months of hard work, whole championship, and they turn up to Virtual Milan and just robbed by system errors.
They were going to win the championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Max just can't. He's a winner. He can't take it that this is how he lost it. Just all this crap.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, I think the word he used was clown show.
Clown show. Yeah. So still the 20th of February. They have not delayed it. Still in that trailer that they released yesterday. They're still saying 20th of February. So the closer we get to it, hopefully it will be released on the 20th of February. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, they've got a lot of work to do. Max is already down there using another sim. Not down there. He's not downstairs with the ART boys. I think they'd love that.
An announcement.
Signing Max Verstappen. All we had to do is let every driver go and sell the building, sell the sim center, everything. Me and Sam are done.
Yep.
But they've got Max.
I mean, he is more valuable than certainly us two by a country.
20,
all the drivers put together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. I still think AlphaTauri one day will be called Team Redline. I reckon they'll go all in on it.
Oh, that's a hot take. No, let's name it Visa Cash App.
Yeah. Call it Visa Cash App
Raging
Redline.
Balls.
Something like that. What is Raging Balls? Call it Redline. I mean, that would be cool, right? And yeah.
We wasn't going to talk F1. It's not even on the list, but I'm sure everyone in chat knows by now that AlphaTauri is called Visa Cash App Raging Bulls.
What are we going to call them? Visa? I don't mind the name Visa.
Sellouts.
Or are we going to call them Raging Bulls?
Sellouts, I'm going to call
You going
them.
to call it? But you don't like teams having title sponsors? Patronus. What are Mercedes called?
Right,
Are they still
maybe if
called
it's
Patronus?
a tyre or a fuel company or at least something like
Yeah,
an
but
app.
as long as it's not crypto, I'm all right with that.
Oh, is it
like-
Racing Bulls? Hold on.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, you're right. Apologies. The Raging Bulls was the what? Racing Bulls. Oh, that's even worse. Why not just say Bulls? It's quite funny and quirky.
Bulls.
Visa Cash App Bulls. See, that worked.
Visa Cash App, comma, Bulls.
Bulls.
Or colon. Yeah.
It's a pointless team. They don't bring the drivers through anymore. They got Sonoda from the Honda era.
Yeah, and now they're just copying Red Bull as well because they've got rid of Franz Tost,
Yep.
legend of Formula
Franz
1.
Tost wanted to build things, wanted to have a team,
Yeah.
wanted to have a
And now
principal. And
they're
now they're like, nah, just use
You'll
the
probably
stuff we
do
use.
better if you just were a B team.
Yeah.
They'll be really strong at the start of next season. They always are, to be fair. They always turn up. Tsunoda's P2 and
it never-
practice 2.
This technique never worked for Haas because Haas use everything Ferrari can give them. And
Yeah.
they put it together and were like, oh, it's still slow.
And they're good for the first 5 rounds and then nowhere for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It hurts as a Hulkenberg fan. It does.
Andretti, I thought Andretti got his, I haven't been keeping, to be honest, my F1 care right now is at a 0 just after the last couple of seasons. But I heard the Andretti bid was coming to, I didn't know it was
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a new
independent,
team. I
new
think,
team.
Yeah. I personally, again, this is going back to me disliking F1 fandom. F1 is a very dull sport where pretty much nothing happens, and yet we've got 100 different news organisations covering every single element of it. There's nothing really to talk about with F1 the vast majority of the time, in my opinion at least. And so the stuff that does get talked about is very dull. It's always very speculative, and it's not based on any truths. So,
Oh, yeah, it's the FIA approval, not the F1 approval.
Mm.
Yeah, good point.
I
But-
think they will take to the grid day. We'll see. If F1 continues to be healthy for the next 2 years, then they could sustain an 11th team.
Because who's the manufacturer partner? Is it GM?
I
And
think
GM
so, yeah.
and F1 can't stand against that. They cannot. What Alan said is reminding me of everything now. I remember everything now. They cannot. They have their few principles about, okay, they need to
But
pay.
the teams can just veto it, can't they?
Yeah, but they have their. It was founded on principles that they shouldn't take away from the sport. You cannot argue that an American, one of the largest car manufacturers on the planet, isn't going to bring added value. Andretti's a racing brand. America is all their vision right now. Everything focus F1 is America. I mean, this ticks every box. They have the money. They're going to pay their way. They're not going to need just pay drivers.
I mean, these arguments have been made for the last 2 years, and I agree with you. But yeah, I think it will happen, but the teams are going to do everything they can to stop it from happening, because I think most of them are still hemorrhaging money, at least according to the back market teams. Let's move on to the last garage, or the last garage. Still haven't decided how you want
Garage.
to-
Let's go garage, actually.
Garage, cool. The last garage, of course, that was over at the apologies. What event was it? It was over
The Sim Formula Europe, whatever it's called.
the Sim Formula Europe events in the Netherlands. This is an article from overtake.gg, and they had a chat with Marcel Offermans about the new sim racing platform. And it was interesting from Marcel, actually, because, of course, people who didn't tune in last week, this is basically like a sim racing engine which has been made, but it's not like a sim racing game necessarily. So you can basically buy this game potentially, and a developer could buy the engine and then create their own sim racing game based on this. However, Marcel did express some interest in potentially developing a complete game himself, or he might sell it at the same time to someone else. He's seemingly up for some rivalry. So it's just positive that very likely that this will be used within the next couple of years, because it seems like a very good physics engine.
Yeah, no, let's see who picks it up. Obviously, if it's announced Microsoft Games have bought it, I'm done. But no, yeah, fingers crossed this can become something. But I don't know. We're so many million miles away from, because it could be bought by a farm game, couldn't it? It's very open ended right now. Like, it doesn't have to be racing, right? It can be driving.
Yes. Yep. The 1,000 hertz physics were clarified. So the physics, I don't really know how this works, but from what I can gather, the physics are calculated every thousandth of a second, basically.
Yeah. Whereas iRacing's the lowest at 60.
Yeah.
By a long way. I think the next lowest is 360.
And at least according to Offermans, this adds a lot of detail, you know, where you can feel stones in the grounds because it's so precise. So was genuinely well received. Obviously, you can't, you know, read into too much of the reviews. But it seems like Marcel is taking quite a patient step with this and may well go ahead with it in the future. There was the rig in action that they were using. Some stuff about online multiplayer, there's not really much to read on that. It's like, we will have multiplayer eventually, but of course they would say that. And talking about a year ahead, just, you know, working on some of the criticisms, some of the noises, basically. And yeah, we'll see if it gets picked up by anyone, but fairly exciting news. Don't expect to see any news about it for the next few months, honestly, but eventually we'll see some updates on that.
Yes, Sarah D. Okay, up next, GT Manager 24. Now, I saw this in the notes, and yeah, it was something I saw. Looks really good. So this is a management game for the, was it GT4s, GT3s, GT2s, GTEs, hypercars, mixed in with IRL drivers. It looks fun.
This is a game reported by Overtake.gg. They've already got a mobile game, which is very similar to what the PC game is going to be. But imagine F1 Manager, but for sports cars, basically, is the idea, I think. Which I think works better than Formula 1. Again, Formula 1, you don't necessarily do a whole lot. Whereas with sports cars, I think it's a more interesting take when you're taking part in different categories.
Yeah.
When you've got to choose driver lineups for races. I think there's more depth potential from this.
Yeah, and endurances, and yeah, no, I really like the idea of this. I didn't actually see this coming. All the cars look great. Managers are people that can't drive. Yeah,
that's from Alan in chat.
So as I should clarify, as it does sound like I'm just saying it out randomly.
Yeah, just like spontaneously. You know what? Managers,
you know what? Yeah. THR in chat sounds good, but F1 managers struggled to make money and have a bigger fan. I agree, but this isn't what I call a big production that's requiring lots of money for it to be a success. This, you know, we'll see how it's monetized and everything.
Did you buy F1 Manager?
Oh no, I did. I think I had some Steam credits.
Sure.
I played it for like 10 minutes. I was just, nah.
I bought it and immediately upon buying it, I was like, I don't really fancy playing this, which is quite bad for me. I don't know what it is which needs to get me involved in something like this, honestly. Football Manager doesn't really interest me that much either. Yeah, I don't know.
No, there is a racing management game I had on my phone. It may even be from these.
It could well be this, yeah.
Yeah, I fell in love with it.
GT Manager Mobile?
It may be, yeah. It was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I absolutely just fell for it. I got really into it. But let's see if it's all the nonsense, like what's all the Fortnite rubbish with the loot boxes and
well, that's how the
battle passes.
That's how the mobile game is funded. It's free to play, but you have to buy in-game stuff. So
I get it made a lot of games and a lot of companies a lot of money, but the business model is it just feels, it leaves an awful taste in your mouth.
Nick Horn is saying in chat that I've been offered a team principal role.
Wow.
For Nick Horn. So, yeah, shall I do it?
Yep.
Sure. Well, be nice, guys. New job.
Don't leave me to talk about the next subject.
Manager of Nick Horn in our bid to get him off the bottom of a Porsche Cup. That was our goal from the start of the season because he's the lowest I-rated driver. So anywhere other than last, we by our logic, is Nick punching above his weight.
Is this Porsche Cup?
It's Porsche Cup, yeah. And Nick's doing all right. He finished like 11th in the B final on Tuesday. So
yeah, it's a tough call.
Yes. Oh yeah, you don't want to cover this by yourself. This is weird.
This is
Do you want to say it?
I will say it for those, especially for those. I think I don't know if it's big in America. Turtle Beach, yes, the headphone company have just released a direct drive. Yeah,
And everyone's reaction has been, huh?
Turtle Beach, the cheap ass headset company, have released a wheelbase.
Again, this is from overtake.gg. Yeah, just odd. It is quite a basic. There's not really much details about it. I don't want to put too much pressure on the whole weight or the strength thing. Just because it's got more newton meters doesn't mean that it's a better wheel or anything. But they haven't specified what newton meters it is, which isn't necessarily a fantastic sign. It seems to be decent value for money because the Logitech one, which was released, was £1,000, if I recall correctly. This one is being sold for €700, $650. However, at least Overtake are comparing it to probably the Moser Racing R3, which is worth £400, but it might have better specs than that. So, to give credit to Turtle Beach, it's actually a decent value for money wheel, depending on what the actual specs turn out to be. But it is still odd that they'd enter the market.
Let me just switch to my screen. I want to show you a picture I found of it. That is an interesting idea and concept. Is that they've tried to make it look like a real car, like an actual car cutout dash behind, rather than just an LCD screen, like a heads up. This actually tries to make it look like the portion of the car has been taken out. I'll show you from the front view. Here. There you go. So you've got this little button box on the side. Yeah, I mean, it's not... I did not see this coming. No way. Hopefully this shows it off. Yeah, so you can see it's like it even has a little hood over the top of the box. But it does look like a G29 on absolute heat. 629 works on Xbox and PC. Turtle Beach. Does it really not say the newton meters? I hadn't picked up on that, but yeah, you're right. Specs. That's interesting. Why would they not? Is it not a direct drive?
It is, yeah. Well, they say it is.
Yeah, very weird.
It is odd. Nick Horn saying in chat, it does show how sim racing is hitting the mainstream when these types of companies are putting their hats in the ring. Sure is, and it certainly made sense when Logitech released stuff. And I know obviously they're already doing wheels, so it's not that much of a step, but it is a bit of a step because people are going to stay within the ecosystem. They're going to be, oh, G29, that's good value for money. So the direct drive is going to be good value for money. Some people may be fooled into thinking that, but with Turtle Beach, it just seems like such a leap. I don't know why you'd have a Turtle Beach headset and think, oh, I want to get into sim racing. Let's get a direct drive wheel for Turtle Beach. I'm not sure if it's going to work. So yes, not sure about that one. Patrick was saying if he could come up and join us. I think he if Patrick wants to come up and say 2 words.
Yeah, stand behind us and give a wave.
Yeah, we will tell you to go away straight away because this is a serious podcast. But Patrick is welcome to join if he wants for a brief moment.
Now they're all going to want to join.
Well, that's the worrying thing, and I was concerned. So Patrick, if you are, just go discreetly upstairs.
15 of them.
Don't invite anyone else.
15 of them come around the corner.
We're nearly through the news, actually. We've got a fair few kind of smaller news stories today. No huge news, but...
I like this next one. I like this next one. I'll let you start this one
out. This is TRK Racer. I think we may have covered on the old late Apex, ages ago, about... Oh, I've done it again. About TRK Racer expanding their roster and having a wider range of products, so going into the wheelbases and pedals, and yeah, they've released a bit of news on this one. So they are releasing their own everything, pretty much
everything,
but their wheelbase is the newest thing that they have confirmed.
So I have a list here. I might as well read it out while Sam's scrolling. Pedals, monitors, handbrake, shifter, QR, mouse, keyboard, headset, gloves, and all the software in between, i.e., and they obviously make rigs and chairs and all that nonsense they always have, but a full sim rig, not full as in full as in everything on it. Your headset you're wearing, the monitors, all 3 monitors, your top monitor, your wheelbase, your pedals, your QR, your handbrake, your shifter. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and obviously I mean, TRK Racer's got a fantastic reputation when it comes to their rigs, and so yeah, people are going to purchase this stuff as well. They have been a little bit slow to release some of this stuff, because like I said, like they announced all this stuff a while back, but this was another thing actually at the Maastricht Sim Formula Europe event, and yeah, they're going to release 2 direct drive wheels between 16 and 14 Newton meters. So yeah. Watch this space when it comes to TRK Racer.
Yeah, it's
good quality, I reckon.
It's an interesting adaptation, like to go this aggressive and have this diversity, because obviously things like the keyboard, mouse, and headset and gloves is very accessory based, but they're trying to corner our industry in this sense that if you're happy with the rig, you might, I don't know, they've invested as well in the software side. The software looks genuine. You can customize everything from one app, your headset, your wheelbase, your shifter. It looked impressive. Like they're not half-assed in this. They showed off the equipment. People were able to drive it and ask questions. There's a few questions around their pricing. Then everything's not released. I think I last read that the handbrake is about ready to be released, and they even mentioned they're doing 2 versions. One for you, i.e., you like the sound, or one for the people around you. And there's a little. It's very quiet.
Okay,
even that was a nice touch. But let's see. They have to come this long way from there to here to when they're competitively priced and able to support mass sales. So let's see.
Yes. So yeah, watch this space when it comes to TRK Racer. I'm sure we'll be covering that in the next few weeks with more stuff being confirmed. The last bit of news that we have: Forza Motorsports have released Daytona. I
believe for free as well.
Oh, is it?
I will once you're off ad. Yeah, there you go.
This is a very compelling start to a video.
Hey everyone.
I mean,
graphics like PS2 though.
I like the roller coaster.
Yeah, but that looks like PlayStation 2, right?
Are these the old curbs as well?
Sports car circuit and the 2.5-mile tri-oval circuit in this free track update for all players.
No, that can't be the graphics though.
Event, we'll also have a special Daytona sports car series.
But like the pit area looks alright. It's just other bits which just look blurry. Like the curbs just look awful, don't they? That's like something from F1 2002.
Yeah, agreed.
Pro AI there. Haven't got the updated curbs.
And Yas Marina into select existing Builders Cup series in the career.
Yeah, I think the video covers everything, but I just wanted to get a glimpse of the track for you.
Hey, what's this stuff as well? They've released other stuff. I've not seen this. I don't know what track. I think this is a fictional. No, this is Suzuka, right? That was Suzuka, I believe. Oh, this is fun. We're guessing all the tracks. Wait, America, maybe? Podcast listeners in ruins. Nürburgring. This is Nürburgring. You know that one. Anyway.
Yeah, see, their cutscenes look good, but the actual, I don't know, the tracks look very flat, very cartoony, narrow. Everything they showed was in goddamn far chase.
Obviously, motion blur as well is always a very constant when it comes to these games. And bloom as well. Project Cars as well had a huge bloom as well. The first one, at least, I remember playing with that one. It is often a way just to make your game seemingly look better, but not necessarily more realistic, I think. Aaron saying in chat that they messed up with Forza Motorsport. I'm not really up to date with why people hate it, honestly.
Yeah, we were chatting about this.
Because most of the videos on YouTube are from like Forza people who just ramble on for half an hour about it, whereas I need concise 5-minute videos. That's why we talk on this podcast for an hour and a half, obviously. And that's, you know, I'm not sure why people hate it, but it's really struggling. It's Forza Motorsport, so...
I think one of the biggest reasons they're struggling is one of the biggest reasons I'm excited. Arcade E is out. It was the industry. I mean, there is still Forza, what's the other
Horizon.
one? Horizon. Hugely successful. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the arcade genre is dead, but arcades cannot go to a track and expect you to race for half an hour and take it serious and not ram into people. Yeah, so that bridge has to be made. If Forza are going to, Forza Horizon is hugely successful. iRacing, Rennsport, AC, ACC, R Factor 2 combined times 100 doesn't touch Horizon. So that's doing well. If Forza want to take Forza Motorsport seriously, they've got to take themselves seriously. First of all, Far Chase is out. It's gone.
Yeah.
Delete. You can't go Far Chase. Are you allowed controllers? Of course you are. But take it serious. Get rid of this where the cars move. I mean, they were showing it just like the real Daytona 24. As the AI blows the bus stop, he starts turning like he's on a controller, but he's using this part of his hand to turn the joystick. They've got to start taking it seriously if they want to be taken serious.
Sure.
They're adding Daytona for free. We know why. No one's playing it. They're trying to, they're trying to get people interested. It's not working. They've got to just take themselves seriously. And I would love to. I mean, I say this every podcast, but Gran Turismo and Forza, they have the money, resources, time, licenses, wheel partners, esport partners, and they could hook up with ESL in a heartbeat. If they want to release a multi-console like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, competitive online esport, doesn't have to be full esport. I'm not talking like all Rennsport, but I'm saying the ladder, like the ladder's there. Anyone can race, but there's that opportunity to step it up. I think they could. I say it every time, but iRacing wouldn't stand a hell chance if they take it seriously and they put the money behind it and the drivers behind it. But we'll see. No one seems to want money right now.
Yes, that is the
Evening,
the
Kenny. Nice to see you in chat.
I think that's sim racing news done. So we're going to talk about the Apex brands now. I will first mention Apex Racing Academy. David was criticizing my promotion of the Daytona 24
I was impressed.
events, my ambitions of getting more people, getting our free setups. If you're in crisis, you realize, hang on, the Daytona 24 is on tomorrow. We haven't got a set. Go to the link there and you get free setups and you get free driver tuition from Salva Talents, who won the event last year in Top Split. So do go there. Just need to put your email in. That's how you get sent the details. And also you can get like 12 months of Apex Racing Academy for the price of 6 months. Just go there. So if you want to renew your subscription, that's a good place to go. That is ARA. I will also shout out, got Apex Racing League as well. We've got our Formula 4 Championship starting in a couple of weeks. You can sign up over at apexracingleague.com. It's usually pretty fun in the Formula 4 cars, fantastic race cars, and probably the most popular single seater now, really, in iRacing as well. So I do recommend go to apexracingleague.com. It's Saturday nights, elimination heat formats. So yeah, do check that out.
And obviously, we already mentioned that there's 9 ART teams, Apex teams competing tomorrow.
We sort of covered Apex Racing Team already. The only thing that we haven't mentioned, I think, is PEC GB, which we were talking about last week. It was a really good round one of PEC GB.
It was.
It's a really competitive field.
Please tell me you got the Peter Behrman clip.
Eh? Oh, what? The webcam
Him
stuff?
going up to the camera. I could do an impression, but I'd have to run all the way over to there.
I'm not sure if I have seen that.
Wait, you haven't seen it? I'll try and find it. Well, I'm not logged into anything.
I think I have seen it on Discord, actually, but I didn't realise it was from that.
Yeah. As he crossed the line, it actually made the Racespot broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, he crossed the line and Racespot caught him doing it. It's brilliant. Go on, carry on. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, he managed to finish in 6th place in race 1 and 1st place in race 2. So well done to Pete for getting a ton of points. So I should probably share my screen because I've actually got the results up. There they are. So yeah, you can see Pete managing to get P6 and P1. And then we also had Luke finishing P2 and P3. Wasn't such a good round for Leo in P20 and P18. Once you're near the back in race 1, it's very tricky to recover. Yes, it was a good race for Pete and Luke in particular, and a good chance that they could be fighting for the title come the end of the season if they can keep up performances like this, because they got Pesk as well to race in later on in the season. Well, Luke does, at least. I don't think Pete does. Yeah, they will be campaigning for that. Have we found?
We have not. Man, it was brilliant. But I can describe it. So basically, as he crossed the line, he jumps up towards his webcam and puts his face right close to it. Like he's driving.
Okay, yeah. I have seen
And he
this
just
one. Yeah,
launches up, goes right up to the camera. And then it's when Rennsport cut over to him. Brilliant. Brilliant.
He was very animated, I think. I've seen a lot of GIFs of Pete just going mad in the rig. So yes,
Yeah.
some entertaining stuff.
Well
from
deserved.
him. Yeah, it's a competitive field like Job is racing. So I think Job won race 1. So basically, Luke finished second to Job. So like, what are you meant to do, right?
It was a good race. Oh, hiccup. It was a great race to watch, actually. I enjoyed it.
It's such a competitive field. I support all the former ARL drivers. We've got like Luke Pennington, I think, won in the AM category. So fantastic work from him to do well in that. We've got other guys as well. I think Higgins might be involved in it. And yeah, a bunch of others. So yeah, really fun championship, and do recommend checking it out if you want some entertainment on Sunday evenings. Don't think there's a round this week, obviously, because of Daytona, but I think it might be returning the week after.
Excellent.
Well, I don't feel like there's that much left to turn on, honestly. Like,
It's all Daytona, innit?
it's all Daytona. So yeah. How are you feeling about tomorrow for Daytona?
I'm as ready as I can be. I've done enough races. I've done enough prep. I feel comfortable in the car. Yeah, I feel confident in the team. I like our setup. Maybe the bop has hurt us a little bit in overall pace, but it's a 24-hour race. I'm not taking it too much. Like, if it had been more on the consistency on the Dane show, then maybe I'd raise alarm bells. But yeah, no, I'm not.
Zach saying that David's booking it.
No. We all raced, and then no one raced the second apart from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved that race. And my second race on my own did really good.
Yeah.
Nailed my quali. I did get beaten out of the pits by Frank Smits, geodesic driver, but
Yeah.
it was a really close battle with me and him all the way into pits, and it was just that situation where I didn't have draft. The front 9 were on a different level. I didn't plan on beating them. I'd only going to beat them if there was a crash. So me and Frank were in the big battle, but he was always behind me. He played it smart. He out-fuel saved me. He pitted the lap. I pitted, obviously. He jumped me in the pits, and then I followed him back to the end of the race, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be.
How did the first race go? No.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
But yeah, best of luck for that one. And of course, best of luck for Apex Racing Team. Like I was saying earlier on, do check out the stream tomorrow on Twitch. We're going to be covering the first 4 hours of the race. We're going to be covering the last 4 hours of the race. It should be pretty much a better production value than you can ever hope for in terms of a sim racing stream, because we're going to be using the studio. We're going to be using behind-the-scenes cameras. We're going to be using
Driver
Jamie Fluke.
cams. Yeah, and Jamie
I
Fluke's
say
excellent.
Jamie Fluke's the main person.
Well, no, the cameras. And then Jamie.
Okay, yeah, maybe. He's a very.
I'm
he's a
kidding.
very-
Jamie's
he's
brilliant.
He's a very charismatic man.
He is. He's going to do great.
He'll be really good. And obviously, the drivers will be coming up here and having a chat with him at various times. So do tune in on that.
Hello, Hobbs.
Aaron Smith is saying in chat, I have to mention this. I should have really turned off the stream by now. But Sam only not doing Daytona because he already won it. And that is true. I have already won it. I've already won Sebring. I've won many championships. So thank you, fastest commentator on iRacing, as we found out back in December. Awesome. So I will shut up. You don't need to hear me about this. Might be the end of me complaining about Daytona for like another year. So yeah, and yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into the Late Apex. We'll be back next week with more sim racing news. We'll be covering the Daytona results and whatever else happens in the world of sim racing. Maybe a delay to Le Mans Ultimate. I don't know. It feels like it's coming, but we still hold out hope that the 20th of February it will be released.
Yep.
Do tune in to see if that is the case. But for now, from me, Sam, and from David, we'll say goodbye and best of luck for Daytona.